Hey everybody, welcome to another live video. We are actually going live on time tonight. It's a miracle. My husband's home and he's got the kids taken care of and I'm here on time, so that's awesome. So welcome. We are going to be talking about safer cleaning products, which I thought was appropriate since it is now officially spring. And if you're like me, you're getting that spring cleaning fever. Hey Kelly. And so we thought it would be perfect timing to talk about cleaner cleaning products. And this is something I've been working on slowly implementing as we run out of one cleaning product for the last couple of years now in my own home. I've been working on this, and then in preparation for the blog post that I did last week at realhealthymamas.com, I also did some additional research and learned a lot of other really helpful information about choosing cleaner products and which of the things I was using are actually clean and which ones were not. And so I wanted to be able to share some of that information tonight because choosing healthier cleaning products can get really tricky. So there's a lot of false advertising and stuff out there, not a lot of regulation of the cleaning product industry, super tricky to know if you're actually getting what you think you're getting. So I'm going to be sharing some tips and stuff, showing you what I use. I'd love to hear what you use, so make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments. We don't have it perfect yet. We are still working on implementing and changing out things a little bit at a time, and I really think that's the way to go with most lifestyle changes, is just to do it step by step. As you're ready for the next piece, then implement it. You don't have to do it all at once. So where we're sitting right now with a lot of our cleaning and our personal care products and our air fresheners and stuff like that, today is so much better than where we were 2 years ago. So we've been making gradual improvements, and I think that's the way to go. So let's just dive on in and start talking about it. So when it comes to cleaning products, there's a few reasons why I finally decided that was something that was important for us to start switching out in our house. So one of those reasons is because as I started learning more about chronic diseases and underlying causes and how to help my husband and how to help my clients and my family members struggling with various things, I learned that one of the underlying factors in a lot of chronic disease is our livers and our ability to detox. And what I always learned in school is that your liver is amazing at detoxification. You don't ever need to do any cleansers or really worry about clean products or anything like that because your liver can handle it all. And it's true that our bodies really are amazing at detoxing. They can handle a lot. If they are given the proper inputs, meaning mostly proper diet, so that they have the things that they need to be able to detox. And there's also a certain threshold that we can handle, and the poorer that our diets are, the less efficient that we're going to be at detoxing is one thing. And then also just the modern lifestyles that we're living right now, we're exposed to a lot more stuff than we used to be. Everything from air pollutions to the plastics and even a lot of like the furniture in our homes, things that they're treated with, the food that we're eating and all the things that are added to that these days, the packaging that the food is coming in, the herbicides and pesticides that we're using in our foods. We just have this huge burden that our bodies are exposed to every day and that we have to deal with. And so I feel like there's so much that that my family is exposed to with modern day living that I can't control and that I'm not going to stress about, because that would make us miserable and we can't really do much about it anyway. But there's certain things that I can control. And one of the things that I can control is the types of cleaning products and personal care products and air fresheners that I'm bringing into my home. And I'm not going to go into personal care products right now. I'm just going to mostly talk about cleaning products. I'll talk a little bit about air fresheners too, just because I feel like that kind of goes hand in hand with, having a clean home. We want it to smell nice too. But I felt like that was one area where I could make a difference, and we spend a lot of time in our home, especially me and the kids. I homeschool them. I work from home. We're here in our home almost all day, every day. And so if I could impact what they're being exposed to here at home, then I felt like I could make a big difference. So cleaning products seemed like an easy place to get started. So another thing to consider, and this is something I kind of knew a little bit, but I discovered this more specific statistic as I was researching recently. And so that is, hey Crystal, thanks for joining. That is that just of like the 21 most common household cleaners, the most popular ones that we're using in our homes, there's over 450 chemicals just in those 21 cleaning products that are linked to cancer and asthma and infertility and all sorts of developmental problems. And so that to me was just another thing that made me realize that this is pretty important. We're seeing this huge rise in chronic diseases and autoimmune diseases and all of these problems with fertility and hormones. And so if I can affect even just move the needle on any factors that I can that are going to affect that, then I think that's a good thing. I don't think for most people that chronic disease is a product of just one thing going terribly wrong, like just diet or just not exercising enough or just being exposed to toxins. I mean, for some people it probably is, but except for possibly diet, because that is a huge factor. Your body could probably handle, or if it was like a huge toxic exposure or something like that, but we can handle a lot. Our bodies are really resilient. And so I think it takes kind of these multiple hits that we're getting from all different areas of our lifestyle that is really what is making chronic disease rise so much. And so I think we need to look at all of those areas, in our stress and just the way that we live. I think we need to look at all of those areas and be addressing those things that we feel like are out of sync in our own lives, in order to really make a difference when it comes to the chronic disease numbers that we're experiencing. So that was another reason that was another thing that made me want to start thinking more about the types of cleaning products that we are using. Hey Shanae, thanks for joining. And so you guys will notice I get out of breath really easily. I'm somewhere around 6 months pregnant, and I just have been out of breath like this entire pregnancy. So that's why I'm breathing so hard. So just keep in mind there's really not a lot of regulation on the cleaning product industry. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But, there's not a lot of rules about what they have to include. And there's not a lot of rules about what they have to list, even, of what they include. So just because you get a bottle of something and it has a couple of ingredients listed on the back, that doesn't mean that's everything that's in there. It's probably not everything that's in there. They're probably not disclosing a lot of the ingredients, and they don't have to. Another factor to consider is that a lot of our cleaning products and our air fresheners and our plastics and our personal care products have something called endocrine disruptors, which is kind of a buzzword these days. You may or may not have heard of endocrine disruptors, but you probably know that a lot of people's hormones are out of whack. We're having a lot of more incidents of diseases that are related to hormones, breast cancer and endometriosis and polycystic ovarian syndrome, early menstruation in our girls, and just all kinds of other just craziness going on with hormones. Hormone problems are a big deal. And so endocrine basically means hormone. Endocrine disruptors or hormone disruptors are a big deal when it comes to these different products that we're bringing into our homes and putting all over our bodies and cleaning all of the surfaces within our house. And so that's another thing that to consider. So those endocrine disruptors have been shown in studies to affect our immune systems. We've got some visitors outside the door. Some to affect our nervous systems. And so, I'm thinking here, I work with autoimmune disease, and a lot of people I work with also have neurological symptoms as well. There's a lot of neurological diseases out there. A lot of the people I work with have reproductive or infertility problems, and a lot of people that I know have those problems as well. It's really common. And then there's also all sorts of developmental disorders going on with our babies in utero or when they're young. And so these endocrine disruptors are a player in all of these different things. And these are just the things that we actually have shown in studies and know to be true. And so how much more is there that we don't know yet? And endocrine disruptors are especially something you should be concerned with during kind of like those intense phases of development. So if you're pregnant like me, if you have unborn or newborn babies in your home, if you are pregnant or lactating, if you're going through puberty, those are the times when these are going to be even a bigger deal for you and probably have more of an impact that we're going to see. So in my home, we have all of these factors going on. We have autoimmune disease, we have babies and young children, I'm pregnant, and so you bet that I am concerned about bringing these things into my home, and knowledge is power. And so now that I know these things, I can do something about it. And so I feel like air fresheners and cleaners are a really great place to start to kind of lower that exposure to those types of things. So when it comes to cleaning products, here's a couple of tips that I've learned for picking out cleaning products that are actually safe, because for the last few years, I've been making, for instance, my own laundry detergent, because I felt like that would be a good place to start, because my husband has an autoimmune skin disease. So I felt like, okay, if I'm washing his clothes in something that's less toxic and that's sitting on his skin all day, that would be probably a good place to start for us. So, and then also, it's cost effective, and so I felt like it was healthier and it was saving us money. And so I was making my own laundry detergent, and then I found out one of the ingredients that I was using in there actually has an F rating for safety. That's supposed to be a natural, safe ingredient, and that ingredient turns out to be borax, is not actually that friendly. So here I was thinking I was doing this great thing for my family, and who knows, maybe our overall burden was still being lightened, but I was kind of surprised to find out that product actually isn't that safe. So I've recently switched laundry detergents, and I never felt like my homemade one actually cleaned our clothes as well anyway, so I wasn't super happy with it as it was. I was kind of looking for something different and better. So I finally started buying a commercial laundry detergent that I like, and there's lots of good ones out there, and I'll show you what I'm using in a minute, but I want to finish giving you some tips for picking out your stuff. So the first tip is, don't believe the claims on the labels, because the next thing that I did was, as life got super busy for me the last couple of years, I stopped making a lot of my cleaners that I was making before, and I started trying to find some commercial versions that I could buy that were safer. And so I was buying a lot of like the Mrs. Meyer's products, and sorry to call out a specific brand, I hate to do that, But I was buying the Mrs. Meyer's brand product, and then I found out that their safety ratings actually aren't that great on those products either. So they claim to be cleaner and greener and all of that, and they may be marginally better than some of the other things you might have been using out there, and they might not be better than stuff you're using out there. There's some commercial brands out there that actually have good safety ratings. And so I felt like, you know, before I thought, I am comfortable paying a little bit more money for cleaners that are safe for my kids to use and that I know aren't causing health problems for us or exacerbating health problems. And then when I found out that I was actually paying more money for something that wasn't any safer than what I was using before, that was kind of discouraging. So then I was kind of back to square one, trying to figure out what to use. So first of all, don't believe the claims on the labels of your cleaning products. One thing that you can look for on the label is the eco, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but the eco logo or the green seal as a clue that they are truly safer. Those are two of the like the certifications that I found that that you can, you know, it makes it more of a sure bet that you're getting a good product. So eco logo or green seal. And then another fabulous tool that I discovered is the Environmental Working Groups has a free website where they rate thousands of cleaning products, and they have one for personal care products too, but we won't talk about that right now. But they have a really great one for cleaning products. So if you go to